Okay, so with this one, let's go ahead and create some shapes and put them all together and make one solid out of it. First thing I'm going to do is check which running O-snaps I have turning on. So select the icon here at the bottom, the fly up. And as always, pause the video and you can turn yours on just like I have mine. Okay, so looking at the drawing, I could see that I have about 4 to 5 shapes. So I'm going to start creating those and then we'll put them all together. I'm going to create a rectangle, REC, enter. Click a start point. And the other location of the end point will be 109, 72. Enter. Zoom the extents. Go ahead and create the next shape here. So I'm going to start with another rectangle, REC, enter. Click a start point. And the length of this one will be 62, 24. Enter. I'm going to fill at the top of this one. F, enter. R, enter. 12, enter. M, enter. Select that line and that line, this line, and that line. Escape button. I'm going to move this to the location that I want it. So M, enter. Select this shape, enter. Select this midpoint, and then click this midpoint. Escape button twice. Pan over. Rectangle, REC. I'm going to click this location is where I want to start. My other location will be 72, 90. Enter. I'm going to create a circle. C, enter. I'm going to touch this midpoint, track from it, 30, enter. I'm sorry, I hit the wrong button. Escape, C, enter. Track from this midpoint, go up a distance, 48, enter. And the radius is 30. Enter. I need to create some construction lines. XL, enter. O, enter. That O stands for offset. 30, enter. Select the bottom line of your rectangle. Click anywhere above that line. Escape. XL, enter. O, enter. 24, enter. Select the top line of this rectangle. Click anywhere below it. Escape button twice. TR for trim, enter. Select these two lines on the outside here. These two lines between here. The line in between here and here. And the two arcs between here and here. Escape button. Zoom out a little bit and you can select these long lines here. Delete. Now I want to make this into one polyline. BO, enter. Choose pick points. Click in between here. Enter. Move, M, enter. Select this object and your rectangle, enter. Click a base point, so I'll just click here. Move it to the right, one click. Then erase these objects that you have left up. So I'm just going to put a window around it and select the delete key. Let's draw a circle, so C, enter. I'm just going to go to the center of this, so I'm touching the edge of here and clicking on the center. D, enter, and that D stands for diameter. 24, enter. Now I have to create one more shape. Rectangle, REC, enter. Just going to click here. 72, 50, and enter. Isometric view. So I'm just going to click lower left corner of the view cube. Extrude. EXT, enter. I will select this rectangle and this shape I have on the inside, enter. Let's move it in the upward direction, 25, enter. Extrude again, EXT, enter. Select this rectangle and that shape. I'm sorry, the rectangle and the circle. Enter. I'm going to pull it down. 36, enter. Subtract command. So I'll select here. Select the object you want to keep. Enter. The object that I want to remove is going to be this cylinder, so select that. Enter. Same on this shape. Subtract. Select your box first. Enter. Then select this shape. Enter. Now I need to stand this up and put it in the right location. So I'm going to change my visual style by selecting 2D wireframe. Then I will select shades of gray. I'm going to go back to the extrude command. I'm going to select this shape that was left over on the inside there. Enter. I'm going to pull down. Enter. Subtract. Select the object on the outside first. Enter. And then select the objects you want to remove. And once again, sometimes this shape may be hard for you to select. And if it is, you can always start by clicking a window to the left of it and just enclose it this way. Once you have that shape selected, hit the enter button. Let's do one more extrusion on this remaining rectangle I have left. Extrude. Select that rectangle. Enter. Pull down. 6. Enter. Okay, so now that my visual style has changed, I can use the gizmos So where it says Move Gizmo, select the drop down, choose Rotate Gizmo. Select this object here. Select the red axis. I'm going to turn my ortho on by selecting the function key 8. I'm going to pull it straight up in the air. And you can see that it will lock going that direction. Left click. Then I will select the blue axis. And then I'm going to pull it this way. Left click. Escape twice. Okay, I'm just going to rotate this around just a little bit. So I'm just going to select this cube here. Move, M, enter. Select this front object, enter. And I'm going to select this endpoint and move it to this endpoint. Union. Select these two objects, enter. And I will move this to where I want it underneath here. M, enter. Select this object, enter. I'll zoom in a bit. And I'm going to move this lower corner here. So select that, and then select this endpoint here. Subtract. Select your big object. And then select your box that you just put underneath it. Enter. Double click the mouse wheel to zoom the extents. This is my front view as it's currently sitting. So I will rotate it to get this to be my current front view. So I'm going to select my 3D object. I'm going to select the blue axis here. And if I pull my cursor out, going this direction, left click, escape. Layout 1. Delete this viewport. So select and delete. Insert in your title block, I enter. I'm just going to pick it from my library here. As I'm dragging into the screen, I'm going to type in 0, 0, 0, enter, and select OK. I'm going to switch to the Annotate tab. Underneath my dimensions, I'm going to tell it to use the dimension. Go to the Layout tab, Page Setup, Modify, select the drop down, DWG to PDF, ANSI B, ANSI full bleed B, 17 by 11, plot area, extents, put a check in the center, the plot box. OK. Close. Base. From model space. I'm going to locate this one at this location. So left click here. Enter. I'm going to come to the right. Left click. Above. Left click. And create my isometric. Left click. Enter. And I'm going to scale these shapes down because you can see one of my shapes is hanging off of my page. So I'm going to double click this view. Underneath the drop down, I will select the one that says 3/8 equal to 1 foot. Escape. Just gauge how this looks. I'm going to select this view. So one click on this one. Select the grip. And I'm going to come and bring it down just a little bit. One click on this view and bring it down some. Now remember that if your O-snaps are getting in your way, you can toggle that off by selecting F3. I'm going to double click my isometric view. Choose visible lines. Okay. Next thing I want to do is update my dimension styles. D-enter. Modify. Symbols and arrows tab. None. Text. Underneath the text height, type in 0.125. The fit. I'm going to scale my text down just a little bit for this drawing because I do see that it will be clustered up a little bit. Normally, I will leave this to 1, but in this case, I am going to scale it down. 0.875. Primary units. Precision. Select the one that has just 1 0. Okay. Close. Starting with my dimension at the lower left or my front view, I'm going to use a linear dimension, DLI, enter. Select this endpoint and this endpoint. Just going to place it here to the side. DLI, enter. Select this endpoint. And I'm going to select this quadrant. And I'm going to come and place it. Every now and then you may get these yellow boxes to appear. The way you would clear that is called ANNO monitor. Make the value of that 0, enter, and now those boxes will not appear. DLI, enter, endpoint, and this endpoint. DLI, enter, this endpoint, and now I'm going to select this endpoint just to keep those in line with each other. DLI, enter, select that endpoint and this endpoint, come up just a little bit and left click. Instead of typing in DLI and enter over and over again, if that's your last command, you can still hit the enter button. And that's going to allow me to just keep going. So I'll select that endpoint, this endpoint, and I'm going to come back and delete this dimension because it is doubled from the top one. But I will select and place. I'll just hit the enter button. Select this endpoint to this endpoint. And I'll place this one here. enter. Select this endpoint in this quadrant, and I will place that one. I'm going to go ahead and delete this dimension, so select and hit delete. Zoom out. Then I'll go ahead and back to finishing my dimensions. DLI, enter. This endpoint and this. I'll go ahead and put my diameter dimension. DDI, enter. Select this circle and place it here. DRA for radius dimension, enter. Select this arc and place it here. I'm going to pan up to my top view. DLI, enter. Select this endpoint and this endpoint. Left click and place it. Hit the enter button. Select this endpoint and this endpoint and click here. I'm going to continue and make another dimension, and I will have to come back and move this one. DCO, enter. And I'm going to select this endpoint here. Escape. Select the 24 grip here. And I'm just going to select that grip and pull it to the other side. Escape twice. Select this dimension. Select the grip. Hit the function key 8 button on my keyboard. Then just place it along this side. Escape twice. DRA, enter. Select this arc and place your dimension. DLI, enter. I'm going to select this endpoint to this endpoint, and I'm going to place it in line with that 50, so I will come and click on this endpoint. Enter. Just to repeat the last command, select this endpoint, come down, and I'm going to make it even with that 36. So I'm going to select this endpoint, enter button, select this endpoint and this endpoint, drag back and place it, enter, this endpoint and this endpoint, and place it. Along the top, enter, select this endpoint and this endpoint, click above it, enter. I'm selecting this endpoint and this endpoint, and I'll place above it. Next, I'll go ahead and place on my center lines. First, center layer, one word, and the layer that I'm going to use is the center layer. So type in the word center. I'm going to click on the Annotate tab. I'll start with my center marks. So center mark, select this arc, this circle. Then I'll select the one that says center lines. I'm going to select this line here and here. Enter button here and here. Escape. I'm going to select this center line. Then I'm going to click on this square grip. And then I'm going to place it on that midpoint. Escape button twice to clear the grips. Same with this one. Select here. Select this front grip. Touch this end point. And touch this midpoint. And you should get it to track off of it. Escape button twice. Fill in your project. ATE, enter. Select your title block where it says project. Class 1. Assignment 1. Okay. Save it. Fill in the title block as well. Remember that the scale can be found by double-clicking on one of these views, and it should be the scale that we changed it to earlier. After that, make sure that you upload it